Yes, the camera is at a wonky angle, but yeah. Hey everybody, welcome back to Live Between Paychecks Kitchen. I'm Oz, Jack and Later still Lake Jackson, and I'm just desperately looking at the thing. But, quick story, I don't want to get into it, but I've always been a fan of Smokey the Bandit. I always wondered what the hell Buford T. Justice ordered when he ordered a Diablo sandwich and a Dr. Pepper. I think I found it. I cooked bits and pieces of different recipes because nobody knows what the hell it is, and I think we made it. It is so good. Before we get into it, be sure to like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff, ring the little notification thing down there, get these as close to Tuesdays and Fridays as we can. Also, there's a link down in the doobly-doo for our merch, like my aprons, some fake hands, pot holders, and stuff like that. We're a small business. We appreciate it. And let's just get into the food. Make it quick. I'm in a goddamn hurry. Yeah. I always screw that up. Let's get into it. All right, looks like a lot of stuff. It is, but it's relatively simple and cheap. So I'm getting 2 pounds of your ground beef here. That's generally the easiest part here. And the rest of this is really going to go by. There's tomato ketchup. I hate ketchup, but you're going to use it here. There's some brown sugar that was hidden behind it over there. Forgot to point out to you guys. You're going to need a sweet onion, some garlic, and a couple of different peppers here. Now I'm going to use 2 serrano and 2 jalapeno because I want them spicy, but not where I can't taste my food. Okay, so that's the thing. You're going to want a little bit of salt here. Salt and pepper, easily enough. Like in that brown sugar's in the back there. I forgot to point that out to you. Some smoked paprika, which is good. And some chili powder, which I'm going to use some chipotle chili powder just because I like the smoky taste to it. Some vinegar-based hot sauce. I lost the cap, so I'm going to use the whole damn thing. Yeah, lost the cap, see? So you can't just let it sit around. You're going to Worcestershire sauce. You're going to put that in there. And then I'm going to use some of this cayenne pepper puree here. It's salty, so be very careful with that. But that stuff is amazing, especially when you use the jalapeno stuff. You're going to need some buns to serve it in and a Dr. Pepper because we're in a goddamn hurry. All right, so first things first, make your garlic and your onion as naked as possible and go wash your peppers. All right, and then chill your Dr. Pepper. Trust me, this is going to be a spicy one, so you're going to want that Dr. Pepper chilled as possible. So, get you a nice sharp knife. Shout out to Andy, and we're going to cut down our garlic as best as we can. 2 cloves is fine. 3 is better. I'm using 5 because that's just what the ancestors told me. Andy, I need to send these knives back with you because they're sharp, but I hit myself in the finger with them twice in this video, and I didn't bleed, so they might need a sharpening. Or maybe they should stay not so sharp. That's on to me. But go ahead and cut these back. I use 3 passes just to try to get them as small as possible. Nobody wants a giant chunk of it unless you're trying to kill some kind of southern sheriff vampire. Then for all goodness sake, put giant chunks of garlic in your Diablo sandwich. So once you get that run through 3 times, just move it over to the side. And then we're going to try to cut down our onion. I don't know why I turned the camera off and then immediately back on. So we're just going to split it right down the middle, hold it by the big side, cut the small piece down into small rounds here, right? We're going to get that, cut, stack it back up, and then we're going to cut it one way or the other. Now again, shout out to Squire Mary, I feel so bad. She sent me a book, I read it, I learned all the names and the different methods on how to cut stuff, and then I just always just kind of cube it, dice it back and forth here, where I forgot all the proper methods and names on how to do this. So do that for your entire onion, and push it over to the side, put it in a separate plate, so you can still use the stuff. So now we're going to get to our peppers. You want to go ahead and cut these caps off and then split them, and we're going to rip the veins and the seeds out, okay? That's where a lot of bitter and horrible is, and these seeds will get all over your house. If you don't clean your house enough, they'll start sprouting underneath your cupboards and in your windows. So get those nice and split, and then try to throw your seeds away. You'll see them like flying all over the place when I'm trying to do this. Now the serranos are the same thing, but they're just longer and skinnier. Again, cut off the cap, bloop, and then split it. And we're going to take those veins and the seeds out of that as best we can. Some people, think it makes it where it's not as spicy if you do it that way. The capsaicin's in the veins and in the skin as the defense mechanism for the peppers. So just go ahead and get those seeds out because those don't do nothing but stick to your insides and make things burn. So go ahead and pull all that out as best you can. And once you get those done, we're going to turn around and split these a couple of different ways. So just try to get all your seeds out. They are everywhere. I don't see why everybody's not just growing these in a planter somewhere on your own. Buy 1, plant 7, right? So knock your seeds all over the place in your cutting board. Be sure to wash all of this after you're done. The cutting board, the knife, your hands, especially before you go to the bathrooms, or you're going to have a bad time. Okay, so I go ahead and stack these back up the way they are. Give them a nice slice, and we're going to go over them again just to try to cut them down a little bit. So again, not just a giant chunk of pepper that you're biting into it. Again, do this for all 4 peppers and your jalapenos. Some people put them side by side like this, make it a little easier. Slice it down, put in the little slices there. It's not even a full round. I guess it's a quarter or a half. and then just chop it down again. Easy. You can buy these things. Some places I've seen like pre-minced, pre-diced, whatever. That's fine. I just like doing it myself. It makes me feel like I worked. To get a decent sized skillet, this is my big skillet, my big copper one. Put it on about medium high. Put it on 6 out of 9, and let it start warming up. I'm not going to put any butter or oil in here, because we're going to add that 70-30 beef, so it's going to have a lot of grease and stuff in it by itself, so that'd be fine. So go ahead and put in your garlic and your onion and your peppers, and we're going to let those get tossed around and start getting fragrant and start getting cooked. We're not going to leave them that long, all right? Just let them start warming up now, and then we're going to add our beef right on top of it. Let that grease start getting in here. But knock these around, let it start getting warmed up before everything gets in there. It's going to start smelling amazing. But you don't want it too high. If it starts burning or making too much racket, go ahead and turn it down. Okay. So get your tube of meat, get your sharp knife, and be very, very careful doing this. You don't want to split your hand or your finger, or your neighbor, whatever. Just because their dog won't start barking, whatever. Don't do that. You're capable of great things, just even murder, but don't do that. So go ahead and make sure to get all the beef out of the tube. If you're using just like a flat pack of it, that's fine. Just 2 pounds of meat. So I got both of these, and I got them, I think for $3.50. There was a coupon for one of them. I bought them on 2 different days. So this was my big expenditure, but everything else was stuff that I had already kind of sitting around, other than the peppers, which were like 15 cents and 35 cents for all that together. So this is still relatively very, very cheap. Okay, so get this in here. You want to get you a wooden spoon. Because remember, your vegetables have been like cooking while you're doing here. Like I got my fancy new pretty wooden spoon, and go ahead and start breaking this down. You don't want these giant chunks of meat in here. So every time you're stirring it, you're kind of giving that little turn right there. You see that? To where as you're turning it over, you're breaking up that bigger pieces to make it easier to put on the sandwiches and stuff. So just keep doing that. As we're doing that, we're pushing the meat down on the metal, because we want that to start cooking and that grease to get out. When the grease heats up, it cooks everything. So go ahead and push that down. Give it a nice stir. You want those garlic and the olives, and the onions and peppers to go ahead and get in there. And they're going to go ahead and start seasoning the meat, as it were, while it's in there. Now, once you get it in here and it starts getting brown, you see that? It's nice. But because we're using that cheap beef, it's got that grease, and that's good, and it's helping it cook. And we're getting down in there. There was just a little bit of pink, so put the meat on the middle and let that get down there. So go ahead and get it turned. But your choice is to leave the grease in there, and it's going to be a lot runnier and oilier meat, or Sloppy Joe, or Untidy Joseph, as we call him around my place. Oh, by the way, I'm watching Philip DeFranco do the news while I'm doing this one. Just a shout out to him. Is what I'm listening to while I'm cooking this. But you can see it's got all this grease that's sitting in there. So you have the option of leaving it, or to go dump it out, put it in a bowl, take it to your fence line or your telephone pole to keep grass and stuff from growing around it. So once you do that, go ahead and add 1.25 cups of ketchup. Okay? It seems like a lot, but it doesn't seem to look enough until you actually taste it. This works out pretty well. I'd like to break this down with tomato sauce stuff, but ketchup is easy because it's almost in every kitchen. You have it sitting around. I had it left over from the last event where I made food. So for my Amp Garden LARP stuff. So I had this giant bottle of ketchup that I needed to use, and this is perfect. So 1.25 cups of ketchup. You want to go ahead and put that stuff in there, okay? Go ahead and mix it right on top of your cooked meat. It's already brown. Your onions are cooked, so we're just mixing everything else in, all the rest of our ingredients, okay? So you get your tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, just 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Go ahead and throw it in there. And then 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. I use a light brown sugar here. It's Southern cooking, so we had to have it. 2 tablespoons of the hot sauce, the vinegar-based hot sauce, and then I had just a little bit left in the bottle, so I just went and threw it in there anyway. It's a Diablo sandwich, right? So you get your cayenne pepper. It's 1 teaspoon of the cayenne pepper. And then your chili powder, which I'm using the other stuff here. Yeah, it's 1 teaspoon. Sorry about that. 1 teaspoon of that stuff, and then 1 tablespoon of the cayenne paste. And I bought it over at HEB and at Walmart, so different places. Now your black pepper, you want to do 1/2 teaspoon, I get distracted by the food that's on the thing while I'm trying to record this too, so I apologize. And then your salt, it's like half a teaspoon of that one. The original called for 2, but because I put the cayenne paste in it, the cayenne paste is very salty, and then the ketchup itself is salty, so I didn't want to really mess that up and just over salt this food. So it turned out perfectly. So just the half a teaspoon of regular salt plus the teaspoon or the tablespoon of the cayenne paste. Let's give it a nice stir. Make sure everything's mixed up in here. Get it nice and get the seasoning on everything. Make sure the peppers are mixed in with your hamburger and all that kind of stuff. And you're going to let this simmer. Well, you start when you start it, but you want to give it about 3 to 4 minutes. Just let it simmer and let everything kind of cook in there together. And then you're done, man. Just take it and like this is right after the 3 minutes. You know, it's not nearly as wet, even though it's still an untidy Joseph or a sloppy Joe for those that don't know as well. Go ahead and put that. Just put it on the burger, on a hamburger bun. Put a Dr. Pepper next to it, and you are set. This is Smokey and the Bandit at its best. This stuff is so good. Be sure to turn the heat off. It's still going to have some residual heat, so you want to stir it or remove it from heat if you can. But that's it. That's how simple and easy this thing is. This worked out so well. It was one of those experimental stuff because nobody really knew exactly what it was. I think originally it looked like a pulled pork sandwich with peppers in it, but this is so much easier and cheaper, and people really don't know. They've hunted down the actual restaurant from the movie that actually existed, and it's nowhere near, that's not even on the recipe, so nobody really knows. So we tried it and made this. This worked out really well. This tastes amazing. You better like spicy stuff because this is just chock full of peppers. But other than that, this is a very good sandwich. Other than we already have the link. I'm sure Jack will throw up a link for the our original Untidy Joseph, because it's a super fancy sloppy Joe. We did that, but this is the spicy version made with like ketchup stuff instead of the pre-made canned stuff that we used in the other one. This is so good. It is a shameless plug for Smokey and the Bandit, a movie from 1977, and a shameless plug for Dr. Pepper, but this holds up really well. It is amazing. You need to try this. I mean, if you do, let us know. I'm excited to see other people try this. I've taken pictures and sent it to friends, so I'm happy with this one. Y'all give it a shot, would you? Holy crap. Now, there you have it. That turned out really well. I was really suspicious about using the ketchup, but we're trying to keep it under budget. And I'm generally not a fan of ketchup stuff, but tomato sauces I do, so whatever. This worked out so well. If you do it differently, you want to see me do it differently. Somebody said it might be a pulled pork sandwich this spicy. This is just a spicy sloppy Joe, or those that... No, personally, we're Untidy Josephs around here. But yeah, that's what it is. So you want to see me revisit it? Let me know. You can let us know on here. That's what the comment section is for. Just hit it over there. Or you can find us on social media, or Facebook, Pinterest, Patreon. We're all those that live between Paycheck's Kitchen. Also find me on Instagram. In between, we had to shorten it down over there. You can find me, Osway Nerdy, on all those, including Twitter and over on TikTok. I'm generally talking nerd stuff, comics, action figures, miniature painting, tabletop gaming, D&D, whatever. But follow me over there. We'll talk some nerd stuff. I will see y'all next time. I'm going to go eat another Diablo sandwich. These are good. They're spicy, so I apologize. But, damn. Eat mine down. Let's get it.